Hello YouTube, this is BUB'S Comics coming at you with a quick comic haul and a CGC unboxing. Of course, when I say unboxing, I'm not going to stand here and force you guys to watch me clumsily open a box. Besides which, I open them as soon as I get them out of the post office. They usually don't even make it home because I want to make sure everything's right before I leave the post office. But in any case, CGC comes regular mail, so I had to make an express trip home from lunch. I work probably 45 minutes away from, well, about 30 minutes away from home. So I had to rush back to the post office anyway. It's a big ordeal, but it sure is worth it. So before we get to the slab, let's look at some comics that actually my mother came across and she gave to me that I guess once probably were mine or my brother's, but y'all know how that goes. They're mine now. And we're going to start off with Captain America Goes to War Against Drugs. Now, I already have a copy of this book, but the copy that I have is not produced with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It's actually a grocery store version of the same book. And this one has the NYSALU and the New York State symbol on it, which is pretty cool. And also cool, so there's a promotional comic, right? Captain America Against Drugs promo comic. And she brought two. And what's really cool about that is that one of them, which I didn't, it's in a bag and board, but the backing has a spot for a mailing label, and it was mailed to my Little League. So that's where I picked it up. So I got this book from Little League. So I thought that was pretty cool. Keeping with the promo comics, pretty exciting. We got Whiz Kids. And I don't know what that is. It's got like a catalog number. I don't know what that means. But it's Dick Ayers cover, so that was pretty cool. And Chick Stone, so compliments of Radio Shack. So this is a Radio Shack giveaway. For those of you who remember Radio Shack, they made Tandy computers, and they had everything you needed if you were building stuff like electronic stuff, and overpriced TVs and radios. They had great remote control cars, as I recall, and you could buy Tandy computers there, which were some of the first PCs available. Anywhere like that, you buy a computer there. So anyway, those are the books she brought me. And then next is a book that I picked up. Again, rare that I pick up modern books at shops or anything, but this was one that I did pick up. And it was The Shape of Elvira number 3. I haven't even put that in its proper bag yet, so that shows you how new it is. I really like this book. It's another Francesco Francavilla cover. So it looks good, nice and simple. The last cover was mind-blowing. I think I showed it off in my last video that I got signed at the con. But this one is pretty good too. I like it a lot. It's got the creature in the back, so you can't go wrong there. Next, I had a special order that I had put in, and it's the Amazing Adventures of Superior Sam number 7. So this one's done by our good buddy One-Legged Books, Chris Barkham. And of course, he's a writer. And Jafar... I always get the name wrong. I always want to think there's an R in there, but it's not. Well, there is, but it's not where I think it is. So it is Yarfei Azami. So pretty cool. I really like his art style. It's nice. It's very juvenile, but not in a gross kind of juvenile way, but more and I think it's an art style that really appeals to kids and to the kid in all of us, right? So it says to BUB'S Comics, you beat Roger to issue number 7. Different is okay. And he signed it. So Chris signed that to me. I always egg him on a little bit. Roger Medarog, he's always teasing. He started it. I'll put that out there. I want everyone to remember because everyone talks about what a nice guy he is. But he started picking on me because he was getting some of these books before me, and Chris was writing little notes or something to him, and so I wanted something special. So he included on this backing board, Roger doesn't have a sketch, it says, and there's a sketch of Superior Sam. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm just floored by that. Signed 2019. And he's a writer, so to get anything out of him sketch-wise is always a big deal. So really excited for that. Thank you, Chris, for sending this to me. I absolutely love it. You guys go support him and his channel if you like it. And I tell you, if you give it a shot, you'll like it. Great family books and fun stories. Really, overall, just well written and illustrated. So exciting. All right. So next up, we have a book that came all the way from Canada, and at least that's where I bought it. It is the American version of the book, but it's Planet Comics number 46. Yes, I know, more Planet Comics. I just can't help myself, y'all. I want them, and I'm buying them. So here we go, Planet Comics. I got a heck of a deal on this, and then I found out why. So, like most great deals you get, you're looking at it and you're like, wow. So the reason that I was excited about this book, because I see this book often. It's not like it's a terribly difficult book to get. However, the color on this book was pretty good. Now you see there's something going on there. There's a couple of spots here and there where maybe somebody took a marker to it or it just got wet. I don't know. I'm a low-grade collector, so none of that really bothers me too bad. But a lot of times, this guy's yellow is so faded that it looks like they're just bare legs. And it looks terrible. It looks like some kind of bad like Robin outfit or something. So having the yellow legs instead of just the bare legs looks a lot better. And often this is very, very faded book. And that's kind of a manly chest on that woman there. So there's got some issues with the art already. His face is kind of off a little bit. So you really don't need all the missing color to help it out. It's already not probably the best Planet Comics cover out there. But if you send it to CGC, I think it gets a bondage rating, which always kind of makes me feel uneasy when they when they put it on there. But anyway, so pretty cool cover anyway. I'm trying to collect the run. I got it at a steal. It was shipping from Canada. And in our chats and things, I hear a lot of people mention, yeah, I buy from overseas all the time, or I'll buy from Canada all the time, because a lot of bidders are afraid to bid on them on eBay. They don't want to order because they're afraid of various things. Maybe it's not real, or it's not correct, or it's the wrong version, or whatever. But in this case, the guy had a 100% seller rating. So I said, you know what? I'll take a chance, and I'll order some from Canada. It took about an extra 6 or so days to arrive, so that wasn't too bad. There was tracking all the way from Canada, had tracking, and then the US had tracking, so that was surprising because I thought maybe I wouldn't get tracking. Very few bidders on this. I didn't even have to snipe it really, and I won it. I was very, very happy. And then it arrives, and it's in an unprotected, padded envelope. So it was just like a bubble mailer. No bag, no board, nothing. Just thrown into the bubble mailer, and I knew something was wrong when I got the delivery notification and it said it delivered in my mailbox. Because any kind of larger packages and things, I always have rerouted to like a P.O. box, or it'll say left on porch in rare occasion. But most of the time it's routed at the P.O. box. So for a comic to make it into my mailbox, it had to have been rolled up and put in there, and that's exactly what it was. So when I came in, I got a rolled up bubble mailer, and my heart sank. Fortunately, that's really only a concern for high-grade collectors. If there's any more damage to this book than there was when I first purchased it, I can't tell, because it was already like a 1.5 to a 2.0 at best. So I'm good with it. It's complete. It's all there. A little bit of a chip out of the cover, but it's not in any of the major art, so I let it slide. And there you go. Planet Comics number 46, another one off the list. All right, let's crack open this slab. Well, not crack the slab, but you know what I mean. And here we have a book that I actually sent only for a reholdering. So I already knew what the grade was going to be, but I've never sent a book for reholdering, so it's very interesting to me. There's no fast track to reholdering. You just send it in, you hope for the best. And it comes back, and this is what I got reholdered. So it's my Captain America number 103, signed by Stan Lee. And it's in a new CGC case. And I went ahead and got the new label, the custom label for Captain America on there, 6.5. And it says, signed by Stan Lee, 10/12/2013. And then on the back, it says Stan Lee story, Jack Kirby and Sid Shore's cover art. And it also said Red Skull appearance and 2 variants exist. Which is funny to me, because just saying that 2 variants exist, I find odd. Why not just tell me what the variant is? You know, you could easily just say there's a blue shield variant, a blue star variant, and a white star variant. You know, that makes more sense. But in any case, here they are, and I'm really, really happy with it. It looks great. There were some small kind of Newton rings when I first got it, but they're kind of moving around. I've had it all day, so I've been looking at it over off and on, and they're kind of moving, and sometimes when that happens, they settle in one spot, very small, usually when they're still fluid. If you get a Newton ring and it doesn't move in the first like day or so, and it's still in the exact same spot no matter where you've put it or how you've laid it, then it's probably going to be there forever. Some people say, oh, the Newton rings go away after a while. That's only if they're fluid, and I don't mean that they're actually liquids. I just mean that when you're holding the book, based on where you're putting pressure on the corners or on the sides, or whether it's laying flat or standing up, if the Newton ring kind of changes shape and moves into a different position, that means that the inner well is touching the case in a different place when you move the book. So there's enough play there that as it relaxes a little bit and the inner well kind of stiffens up and hardens up over time and kind of relaxes in a stand-up position as most people keep their slabs, then the Newton rings will lessen. Now, sometimes they go away completely, and sometimes they just move to a spot where you don't care as much, but they do lessen. Now, if you get a book and there's big Newton rings, like a lot of them, all over it, and no matter what you do, no matter how you're holding it, you kind of twist the case a little bit, just ever so slightly, just kind of wobbling it a little bit, and the Newton rings don't move or change shape, then chances are that the book is so thick in the case that it's pressed completely against, the inner well is completely pressed against the case, and you're going to have Newton rings for the life of that book, or that slab rather. So that's my little tip on Newton rings. This one, like I said, they're so minor they don't bother me, and I think that over time they'll probably run out and kind of disappear. So there you go. I got the new thing. It was only $5 for that, and you can pretty much put them on any book you want as long as it's a Marvel book. So you get a Marvel book, and you can get the Marvel, any of the Marvel custom labels can be put on any Marvel book. So that's kind of how it works. And you can do it through the checkout on CGC. As you're creating the order, you can select that. So pretty cool. Love the Stan Lee placement on that. It was in an old CGC yellow label case before, and it was scratched and scuffed when I bought it. I didn't know how bad it was until I got it in hand, but I knew that it was an old case and kind of milky looking, and I wanted it in a new case, so I factored that into the price when I was bidding on it. And when I won it, I knew exactly what I was going to do, and I only had the book in my possession for like a day, and I had already shipped it off to CGC to get reholdered, and that was almost 2 months ago. So it really took quite a while. Of course, with registered mail, it takes an extra long time to rural areas. So, but there it is, Captain America 103, my Stan Lee signed, yellow label. That's what I wanted, and I wanted a cool custom label. I was kind of going for a Stan Lee label when I was looking for this book, looking for a Stan Lee signature, but I couldn't find any that I liked in a reasonable price, and the books that they were in I didn't care for. And then it turns out CGC lost the license to Stan Lee's likeness, so they couldn't use it anymore. So they can't. So if you send in something with a Stan Lee custom label and you ask them to reholder it, they can't do it, or they'll do it, but they'll put a regular label or whatever other label you choose. But once they lose the license to those labels, they can't produce anymore. So anyway, I really like this. Love the Captain America throwing the shield on there. I thought it brought some more color up there through the book, and I really love it. So that's my little haul. I hope you all enjoyed that, and we'll catch you next time on BUB'S Comics. When you get done watching this video and other videos like it, read a comic. Thanks. Bye.